Yeah. What's up, people? Again, trying my best here. Crazy experience, to say the least. And we're not going to use that word anymore. Crazy. That is not good. Negative. So yeah, basically I'll do what I can for you. I have to live with that. Look at that. Look at that thing, man. My Lord. So yeah, you know. So I'll do my best to keep you entertained if no one actually chimes in here. But the idea is to try to help you answer questions. Uh, I thought I was going to be an invalid for a month and a half, and I feel amazing. Uh, I went to a party the day after I was released, like that night, and the comedy of people that didn't believe me or people that knew I was there, and I saw them show up at this party, and they're like I don't know if they thought I broke out or I didn't go through with it or whatever, but those were some of the funniest faces, best conversations I had. And again, they're friends and colleagues, so it was a trip. Again, I feel great. Clearest I've ever thought in my life. So yeah, I'll babble here for a little while. Uh, Again, but if you have questions, I don't know what I could help you understand, but I feel good. There's no real info on there, I don't think, but so this is all the stuff that I'm hopefully can help you feel better about. Uh, Obviously, if you're an epileptic, your life is already intense. I mean, it's the definition of intensity. So, yeah, you want me to just start reading the comments? There's a table of contents. Welcome, page 1. Mission statement, page 2. Medicare guidelines, page 2. Blah, 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 blah. So, yeah. All right, so we're going to keep you entertained until people start chiming in. If anyone actually chimes in, who knows? So let's pontificate. So I went in to get a piece of my brain removed, and I have my hair. I know I know I got to deal with this. I know. I mean, but straying from the subject. Back here somewhere. Something like that. So yeah, I have a piece of my brain removed, and I'm not sure stigma, whatever the thing is, but man alive, so far I feel great. And it's not drugs. Uh, you're not on any drugs. I mean, you're on. Let me rephrase that one. Holy Jesus, you are on serious drugs to go under. Thank God. But after, you know what I mean? And like this isn't like um, opioid talks and just like, oh, I feel good. This is sober and sober. Um, Now, it throws some people off, right? Like again, it's still perception and perspective, right? If you were a negative guy your whole life, mostly negative, fun way, however you want to put it, if a piece of your brain removed, and all of a sudden you're the most positive person in the world. Let me fix that for you. So, which is it? Is it the hope from now on? Or is it literally the part that made me a negative piece of shit they cut out? I, I hope it's the combination, I guess. Doesn't mean I don't have to do any work and to still be a good person, but it's never come this easy to me. I mean, we're talking like walking down the street and just saying hi to someone, and they're saying hi next thing you know, we're in just a really good conversation about anything, smiling goodbye. No ulterior motives other than it's just a person on the street walking. Hey, I'm walking here too. What's up? Of course, my one-liners and my upbringing in a hilarious family kind of might help. I'm not sure about that. You can tell. I know. I'm adorable. I know. I can't help it. So it went well, uh, to say the least. Even again, not even the doctors aren't surprised, but uh, again, my doctor. I said his name many times before. I never asked him if it's okay to use his name, so I don't want to use it here right now. But yeah, man, he blew me away. Uh, just his politeness, his age. Uh, yeah, I don't know, just is disarming, I guess. You know, he certainly. I don't know about any other kind of brain surgery or any other surgeries. I never had any. Like, I don't know if I need a happy-go-lucky brain, heart guy, or I mean, who gives a shit, right? But someone working on your brain, I don't know. For some reason, if I liked the fact that he was a regular, cool person. He did not seem to have a god complex for sure. So, thank you. Um, what else can we pontificate? So 10 minutes till the stream officially starts, where hopefully there'll just be a flood of questions that I could help answer. Because, yeah, no, brain surgery, going into it, just mentioning it to anybody, the it blows people's minds in good and bad ways. It's again, it's the main thing. This is pretty important, this whole thing. So once strangers start digging around in there, it can make people uncomfortable, to say the least. I stated before I was well prepared because I like adventures, especially of the mind. So I felt like I was in a again, I stated all of this before, but I felt like I was just in a better position than some attitude wise. I don't know. It could be just an idiot. You're like, hey, who gives a shit? Go ahead, cut it out of my head. What do I care? And I'm like, are you sure, dude? Like, you don't want to ask any more questions? You're like, I trust you. I mean, right? Isn't that trust? That's the point. Uh, the the big joke was the fact that the facility was brand new. As I said in my other one, the University of Penn's, it's literally for us, 100% gorgeous building. And for those that didn't watch anything before, I was a little nervous with the fact that everything was brand new. Like, again, I made this joke a million times, but like the TV wasn't working, that kind of thing. You went in and they're like, gorgeous, has a million channels, blah, 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 blah. Couldn't get any sound out of it. And you're like, okay, yeah. And they're like, and the IT guy's like, yeah, well, it's only been here for like 2 months. We're still getting used to everything. Like, yeah, that is the worst statement I could have heard when you're in a brand new facility about to get your brain worked on. But it was this kind of laughter. It was just funny. What else are you gonna do? You can't dwell on the insanity of it all because the whole thing is a crazy process. You know what I mean? You have a piece of your brain removed. Hey, okay. Now again, I know I don't want to repeat myself or babble too much, but it was good. I feel good. everyone I've talked to so far just keeps saying like, "Wow, you sound great." Uh, they're not used to me being so happy or positive. I'm not really sure, but these are people that know me. So who knows what the stigma is with strangers? If you start meeting strangers and they're just like, "What is wrong with you?" You're like, "Nothing, dude. I've been an artist all my life." Oh, but I did have brain surgery and a piece of my brain cut out. But this is more just because I'm a ridiculous artist from birth. Who knows? How do you split those hairs? Pun intended. Look at that thing. My God. Am I Superman now? Let's go with the Superman. Let's do it. All right. So no questions yet. Again, who knows if anyone's ever actually going to chime in. Uh, so I'll do my best to entertain you. Like I said, I've in my mind, I feel like I've tried to tell you as much as I can about the process and the procedures and all that stuff. So now that's all that's left is really the um, making people feel better. As fucking scary as it. Sorry for the profanity. Yeah, definitely scary when someone's like, "Hey, we're gonna go cut pieces of your brain out." I mean, there's no everybody in the world can understand how scary that is. Uh, so now it's about the perception. Um, if you tell people, uh, like I didn't really hide my epilepsy too much. So if it came up in conversation, I just mentioned it. Again, it wasn't like I was like looking for saying I have epilepsy. Meh, 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 meh. It was just talking. Like, oh, I have seizures. Blah blah. Blah. I'm like, oh yeah, yeah, because we mentioned seizures. Something, you know what I mean? It came up naturally. Naturally, remember that thing? Yeah. So yeah, so naturally, it came up sometimes, and it was amazing just how many people would be like, "Oh wow, no shit, my brother has." Almost everybody had some connection to an epileptic story. Just shows you how many. And when you actually look at the stats and all, you're like, "Oh my God, there is a ridiculous amount of us." But since it's not a permanent, I shouldn't say permanent, but since it's not all the time, it just happens so randomly. It's just the thing. So it's it's amazing that so many people were like positive about the fact that they can have any kind of help. You know, um, you can want to just take drugs for life. Great, yeah, no shit. We all know that, dude. No drug company wants you fixed. How are they going to make money if you're fixed? Duh, of course. So they just keep you alive, as much pills as they can. you know, and that's not specific to any drug or disease. So, uh, yeah. What do I know? All I know is that a piece of my brain removed, and I feel good, and everyone that knows me and has seen me is a. That's what's funny. They're all like just confused why I'm so. I don't know. I don't even know what to say. But again, when you're a somewhat negative redhead, it's quite comical to hear them like, huh, hmm. Still, I guess they're still waiting for my old shit to come back, which may happen. Who knows? Still riding the wave. But yeah, no, they definitely, including myself, even the doctors and like the nurses and all. I am. I don't know if I'm considered a special case, but I'm doing way better than they expected or thought. I shouldn't even say it like that. Who knows what I'm trying to say? Other than I had a piece of my brain removed, uh, and again, all the they're all super careful about 6 weeks. Like they are giving you the longest time to be like, Anything goes wrong in 6 months. It's like days later, and I'm this. So again, you don't know how much of it is lawyers just this versus this is the more reality is, yeah, hopefully they cut the part out that sucked and now you feel better and you act better toward others. I wish everybody could do it, actually. Imagine that. Imagine if you could literally have uh, fucking Penn Medicine, one of the greatest places of medicine in our country, at least. Imagine that. If you could go in, get the part that makes you negative taken out. Again, of course, everyone can say, well, it's just hope and this and that and the other thing. Who knows what it is? I'm not trying. I'm just being myself, and being myself wasn't always the best. Wasn't always the best thing. So I have no idea what is going on philosophically, anything. Uh, I have my hair. I know, I know. We went through that. But the fact that I have my hair, I had brain surgery, I feel this good. I've already made everybody that knows me feel way better about it, about what person I may become or if it's going to get worse, anything. I know it helped a couple strangers, which is the whole point, right? Once it happens, you always hear of missions of God, not God, sorry, missions and the light that you see. You're like, wow, okay, well, I now know my meaning of life. I am going to help people with this disease feel better. Mine was a really, really weak kind of case, as you know from my friend and the other one who had hundreds of seizures a year and gradually got worse. Mine just started out grand mal full tilt. Wow, there was no creep up. So mine went from 0 to 100, 39 years old, and just changed my world to understatement. So that's what I'm saying. So it's a lot of hope right now. I just basically personally feel good. Like my body, head to toe, feels good. I had a piece of my brain cut out, and now I just assume everything works. Like I said, I can touch my nose. The things I was nervous about or worried about, the accidents, were all of a sudden like they just hit the wrong highway, and all of a sudden this part of my brain just doesn't work. All that goofy stuff has been taken care of, I think. So it felt good. Again, if anybody has any real questions, I don't know how to answer any specifics, uh, like as far as specifics. But I mean, I guess, yeah. I mean, I guess I can. I do have a table of contents, so I don't. But yeah, preventing falls in the home. That's the kind of stuff that I think most people were afraid of. I live alone. Uh, yeah, any epileptic that lives alone, I feel for everyone that loves you or likes you or knows you, because it's just you basically just got to ignore the fact that you could have multiple bones shattered at any time from a seizure because you live alone. Yes, that is the intensity of the life. We all know that. Uh, that's why every epileptic I met is just freaking the greatest, coolest person I ever met, because the the insanity of it. Just if you can handle it and make it out alive. And again, like I mentioned her before, this woman who's like, I forget her name. I don't know if she wants me to bring it up, but these support groups I go to, like one guy, is bald, permanently has giant scar on his head, and he's a bailiff in a New York, not New York. Wow. Don't ever. I cannot believe I just called Philadelphia, New York. That's how good they're doing. They're doing all right then, I guess. Because if you ever saw anything else from my post, wow, wow. So maybe it didn't work. Maybe they did break my brain. Maybe they did. I just called New York, Philly. They're doing it. They're doing good. Fuck them. Sorry about that curse. So again, here, welcome, mission statement, guidelines, contacting the office, blah, 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 managing your medication. So yeah, so this is what I send you home with. It's not the thickest, and it's mostly not like personal stuff. It's like, check your home safety, your disaster plan. The whole thing is just management. Everything just manages the unexpected. Managing your blood thinners, obvious, managing your diet, your pain, managing your depression. That's the big one. That's what I'm hopefully here to help everyone. Because in the beginning, obviously, it's one of the hardest things to not be depressed. When if you're a late bloomer like me, if you had it since your childhood, I can't speak for that. But if you don't have your first, if you don't have your first seizure until you're 39 like me, yeah, good luck not being depressed. Like, what the hell? And then they give you tons of drugs that mess you up even more, make you more depressed. Who the hell knows? It's an insane, as anyone knows, it is quite the ride. So, yeah, so anything I can do to help? Anybody? Questions? I don't know. There's some people signing on. Hello? I've been babbling for a little while already. That was the pre. Now it's officially 3 o'clock. So now we're going to switch over to the clinical side. Okay, so what do you want to hear? I have no answers. I know that I feel good. This is all that. But we are here to help you feel better about getting a part of your brain removed. And again, it was mostly stigma. Again, being a crazy artist, people were used to me just saying weird stuff and being bizarre anyway. But if you're a normal person, I'm so sorry. If you're whatever the frick that word means, you know what I mean. I can see it being more of a idea. You know what I mean? Again, I've done plenty of psychedelics. I love my concerts. I like the unknown and exploration. Not everybody does. So that would be the biggest thing. If I could help people from now on, be like, I mean, technically take the chance. You know what I'm saying? No, of course, it's not rolling dice. I mean, yeah, but you know what I mean. We're not playing like craps against the wall here. That kind of dice. We're saying literally get a piece of your mind removed for peace of mind that you're not going to have seizures again. Take the precautions, do everything, but hopefully, as you guys know, if you have seizures, that's all you do. You just live the best life you can. Know that it's sitting right here. There's a little dark, evil thing could show up at any time. So you take your stuff, take your pills, you just live life. Live life the way you would as if you didn't have them. Doesn't mean being an idiot. Doesn't mean like don't take them and you're like, oh, I'm too tough for that. Nothing like that. It just means it's your brain. Your brain's, I don't know if you guys know, but you might. Human brains are a little complex, just a tad bit. So yeah, so when some stranger who's going in there is just his job, I'm not talking about my person, I'm saying the perception. How many people like their jobs, right? I mean, some people do, some people are like, yeah, I'm just getting paid, I don't give a shit. You hope your doctor cares. You know what I mean? I know mine's whatever, nothing personal about anybody, but you know what I'm saying. There's not much incentive technically to fix you. So yeah, so it feels good. I don't know what I could do as far as answering anybody's questions if you have any, but I did have brain surgery a couple days ago. Oh, here's my first real question. Do you have seizures? I did. And that's what this is about. So I did. I had my surgery. And now I have None? Who knows? I didn't have as many. This is for Chase, sorry. Oh, brain surgery. Chase, hello. The brain surgery was for atonic-clonic seizures. I had full-blown tonic-clonic seizures. What they fix? Technically, this part of my brain, the actual name of the piece. Not prepared. Let's see. Oh, well, if you read it on Facebook, it's basically this little piece here. They cut it out. So, obviously, I'm not prepared. I'm not a doctor. So, you know how doctors rate, right? It all makes a lot of sense. It's so easy to understand. But sorry, Chase, I can send you anything personal if you want, but I don't have anything at the moment. But they basically cut out a piece. It's not specific enough for you. Yeah, again, I'm not a doctor. When the live chat's over, I will. Hey, thanks, Chase. So when the live chat's over, I'll post details at the bottom for specifics. But like I say, right there, and it was microscopic. No pain, no pain, Chase. Even then, it was so small. I mean, obviously, I mean you're under heavy. I would imagine the heaviest drugs possible. But after the fact, like it's not like you're on like pain medications, like you hurt yourself or anything. You know, you basically just have a very, very, very small um, vitamin regime. It's like something you come, you take like 3 the one day, 2 the next day, 1 the last day. Like precaution stuff, nothing real. So yeah, you know, it felt good. Uh, physically feel good, mentally feel good. I did not have to stay awake for it. Uh, I went under hard. Um, apparently, I actually took an extra hour to wake up. So yeah, I was out for the whole surgery specifically. First of all, it was 5 in the morning. Yeah, so I had to be there at 5 in the morning. The surgery itself was, I think, 6. But either way, it doesn't matter. Like you're halfway tall, you're just like, oh yeah, but like saying you wake up 6 hours later. They say it's usually about 4.5 to 5. Mine was 6. Uh, so I went out. I was woof. I was out to say the least. Which again, you know, you're kind of nervous, even though I knew my doctor, loved him. Uh, they're also extremely busy, so I was like, oh God, I hope I get to see him again before to say thank you. Uh, you know, and they're like, ah, you know, maybe, but they're busy, unfortunately. I don't actually. Is that a good question? Fortunately or unfortunately? Unfortunately, that many people are affected. Fortunately, the University of Penn just built that giant pavilion and has the smartest people there are working on it. So that's good news. That is, I mean, you can't imagine the best news. As I stated before, if you watched, it is a little nerve wracking when you go in to get brain surgery and the whole facility's new. They didn't bring one thing over. So you're just kind of comically laughing, like when a nurse is like goes, oh wait, no, and she has to go to get this guy. It was there were some little funny jokes. Now again, that could just be my attitude, uh, being a ridiculous person. Because if I'm going in, if you're scared and you go into a brand new facility, you're like, do they know where stuff is? Like, huh? And there was things that they didn't quite know yet, but that was just more the ridiculous perception from my end. Uh, yeah, no, and I'm not getting paid. This is not a commercial for it in any way. But the University of Penn, blew my mind. Yeah. I feel good. Uh, cheese. Yeah, no, I don't really have specifics, but I know that this is not what people thought after. That's for sure. I thought I was gonna be more invalid like. Um, so yeah, so we just got to keep the positivity going. Now it's just a real hard regular life. How do you stay positive? How do you help? How do you, um, say you become popular, and say this goes well, and I'm start helping a lot of people. Keeping it in check. However, this helps. Uh, Again, my friend, well, his friend now, Jeff. This guy Jeff helped me tremendously uh, because he had it, and I'm like, oh. So I mentioned it to somebody. I know, and still, there's still some holiday pounds here. Relax, people. It's still January. Yeah, so luckily I met this one dude who had it, a guitar player. You can check him out on my site. He helped me tremendously because he's still normal. You know what I mean? I didn't meet him before. I met him the day I interviewed him. And like any stigma, when people are like, oh, you got a piece of your brain removed. Well, what's wrong with you now? Nothing. This dude had serious, serious parts of his brain removed. They had to shave his head and stuff. I'm pretty sure I would have said no. If they're like, well, first thing, we got to cut your hair. I'm like, I'm good. I'll just keep taking pills. Because, I know. What am I supposed to do, right? This dude didn't have that luxury. He had the, again, you can watch it. I forget what it's called, but the thing where they put that metal thing in your head, the big, it looks like a hard drive. Damn it. I don't know what it's called. I forget what it's called. But either way, yeah. So his shit was serious, serious, serious. Like where he's got this thing on his actual brain, and then he has the keychain. So now you know how now they have these. So when you get your aura, you're all familiar with auras, right? Like oh shit, here, oh fuck, I'm gonna have a seizure soon, and then you use that, and it pulls you out, right? Well, he has it on his brain, and he has a keychain. So when it starts to happen, the version of this is a keychain. That's intense. That is intense. Would I be this positive if I had to go through that intensity? I don't know. As anyone with epilepsy knows, you definitely learn a lot about yourself. Many, many times, you know. I'm not gonna tell you guys. You guys know it's weird hells, personal and otherwise. But yeah, so I feel good. Thanks, Chase. I hope I answered some of your questions. Yeah. All right. So yeah. Now what? Now you continue. Not you. One just continues, and you try your best to stay positive, right? And again, this isn't drugs. This isn't like being positive because I'm loopy, because I'm on like hard psychedelic or whatever they call them, like the other ones. So if anyone has to do this, I don't know um, what the parameters, but I was in the hospital for 10 days. So that's why this worked out so well, because I had such a great idea of where to go in. They knew where to go, Back in the day, they basically, you're not making it out there with your hair or anything. But to get to that point is because of the 10 days in the hospital where they just watch you. And that's the insanity. Sorry, that is not a good word. That's the tough part. When you're just in there waiting for a seizure, the not allowed to get out of bed, using the bedpan. The bedpan's actually kind of fun. I don't mind the bedpan so much. I feel bad other people have to deal with it, but the bedpan is pretty sweet. But yeah, 10 days just in the hospital, man. You feel bad for everyone you love because they're just nervous, scared, freaked out, all that. And you're just like chilling in a bed for 10 days. all that to say, so I got lucky with all this part because the 10 days, again, University of Penn, I know another commercial. You guys owe me money now. Come on. Uh, when they're taking your, they press the button. As anyone that has a seizure, I don't know how much yours are, but mine are tonic-clonics. So I have a really like an intense deja vu. Like I know mine are coming. Like I know very well. And again, it took a while to notice. You're like, oh, So now I know the first thing that stops is my talking, and like we've all had the deja vu thing where it seems what they call the aura, where it seems like it's already happened, but it's just your brain is just above the delay, and then you go into the full. Well, at least me, I go into the full tonic-clonics every time. I never had halves or the other terms, whatever. So when I was in there for the 10 days, they take off your pills and you just basically wait, right? So you're laying there, you're waiting, it's like, da, 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 you're like, hey. And the first one I had was just, oh, it was just the aura, more or less. It wasn't really the convulsing. There was some time missed, but it wasn't like my usual complete darkness. Just wake up to a bunch of people looking at you like, "Oh my god, dude, what the hell? Are you all right?" It's you literally can feel the drugs wearing off. Kind of. First one was just like, "Oh, there's my aura." All right, we're good. We're good. All right, we're good. And then the nurses or whoever will tell you how long that particular part was. Now I thought it was shorter, which makes sense. But the fact that I even knew that it happened, I always knew that happened. But you know what I mean. The fact that I knew because I paid attention to my aura. I know what that deja vu type feeling is, and then my mind just never went in. That was the first time at this clinic. Now the second time, same exact thing, just deeper into the where apparently I did go out, where I had the whole, oh, hold on, here it comes. Deja vu starting to come, and then I'm in it, and then I'm in the darkness, and then you just wake up later, you know. So that was I think that was day. I was there for 10 days, so it was probably day 5, 6, and 7, I think, or 6, yeah, 6, 7, and 8, and then the rest of 8, 9, 10, you're getting ready to leave. Um, so yeah, so after the second seizure in the recording studio, so to speak, then they bring in the coolest machine I have ever seen, and they keep you awake, right? So again, it's all about ideas and scans and 3D scans and this and that. So whatever, what year is it? We got a lot of technology out there. So all the scans, the brain scans that we've all had to go through, had an idea, a really good idea, right there. That's my expected spot. I mean, they'd show you, and you're like, wow, all right. So they had a really good idea. So the third day, it was wild. It was the most fun I've ever had. You're hooked up to the best machines money can buy. I mean, Jesus, hooked onto your brain, in my head. This is where they drill into your skull. So I have, it was 12 holes and 2, right? We're talking actual holes in your skull. And then these little cameras are inserted and they just take pictures of everything, right? So that's why they know it was here. So the third day, when they're like, again, the first couple of days they just hope you have a seizure. Then when you start to, they're like, oh sweet. Then they start getting stuff prepared. So the first day I had one, second day I had one, and the third day is where they keep you awake and you're hooked up to this crazy machine and you're reading and then they slowly like they play with these dials and stuff. So you'll be reading, but like, and then the chicken happened across, and it says road, like, and then the chicken happened across the street. You're like, and they're slowly turning the dial up, so they know that when you what that number or whatever reading is, where you read street instead of road or whatever the mistake was, and you're like, and you can kind of feel it, like that very very beginning of the seizure, like when your body's going to have that feeling is being controlled by people. Coolest experience I've ever had. Again, psychedelic K. So I'm not sure everyone would have liked that as much as I did, but that was great. So then they were loving it because now they're like, oh, sweet. Okay, I wasn't scared. I helped because I was so. I'm like, wow, this is really fun, guys. Actually, as crazy as it sounds to anybody, it was fun. So you read them, A, B, C. Pretend these are words. A, B, C, D, E, F, B. You're like, okay. And this is my reaction. I'm looking at G. I know it says G, but I know I said B. And then they have that thing, and they're like, okay, so they knew. So they're basically pinpointing, right? But this one story they had was so ridiculous. That was the big joke, because I don't know if it was because I was Irish, but it was Irish, like old Gaelic. It had nothing to do with my seizures, but it doesn't make much sense trying to read Gaelic out in person. So we skipped that one and we went to just normal stories. But they need to update the stories too. They're just boring. So yeah, so you sit there and you read, and all of a sudden you're like, oh. And again, the beautiful people around you are like, oh, and they'll put their arm maybe on you. They'll be like, oh, okay, like, oh, interesting. So that part, you read 30 seconds without any problem. And it's that same word. So it's not necessarily the word, it's them again, they slowly but surely until, so you're just reading and they're just good until, oh, wow, there's a mistake. Oh, well, that's a mistake. And it seems like it's around the same time. I'm thinking it's what are you reading, but it has nothing to do with that, obviously. That's just their way of tracking your brain. So it's wild as hell. So don't get scared of that stuff. When you go in, don't be scared of any of it. Because it's all, obviously, it's scary, but it's not scary. It looks scary as hell when they have 30 wires coming out of your head and shit. But and again, I'm a lucky case. I like weird stuff. I like weird sensations. Again, like I said, I've eaten psychedelics for many years. Nothing to do with this. Whatever you want to put that together, but I felt like I was open for it and ready for it, and then I was helping them. So again, I would like to know. Obviously, it's not about me. They're amazing doctors and stuff, clearly. But I feel like since my report, I was able to talk to them in a different way, as they kept saying, like, oh, I was willing to go deeper than some other people. I'm like, yeah, no, dude, I'll keep reading the sentence if I keep screwing up the same 5 words and all. Like, again, you're working for me, you know what I mean? So yeah, no, so we had a really good time. Yeah, god damn, we were laughing our asses off. It was fun. It was really fun. It was, I know, right? Who the hell would think it was fun, but it was. And again, obviously it's the people around you too, but yeah, so and again, I'm not getting paid. This is not a commercial for them. What's up? I'm not sure how to pronounce that. So yeah. Anything else? I got some sideshow material, I guess. But yeah, no. So hopefully this helps somebody. Chase, I hope it helped you a little bit. It's wild as hell. I don't know if I'm a special case. Again, I was on the convalescent floor, and I wasn't necessarily supposed to be, but I don't. And again, remember, this is a brand new building. So they're whatever the whatever floor that is mostly for in between people was full. So I was in the other floor where, you heard moaning and like, yeah, not a not a pleasant floor. But they were hilarious because like, yeah, we kind of ran over, but we did keep you at the one end, like the end closer to to the normal side and like the exit where the others is like basically like kind of admitting that like, yeah, that's the storage facility of the people that are never going to leave, and their insurance is basically funding all this. You know what I mean? Kind of like that kind of stuff. They hope for the best, the doctors and all, but as I said before, right, doctors don't really want to fix you. What are they going to do? What job are they going to get? You know what I'm saying? So I feel like they really do want to help them, or not. I don't know. They are also just batteries for insurance money. So that was the thing I was more nervous about. If like if you ever go to those things like convalescent homes and all, like they don't really want to fix people. Where are they going to get the cash? This is I don't know. You know, the fact the rooms are just so big, everything's just so big and beautiful and all. You're like, yeah, that doesn't seem like you guys want them out of here, kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like they don't want them in and out. Not like how do we keep them here for as long as we can to just drain their insurance? Again, this is just my negative view of the world. But yeah, no. So yeah, it's intense to sell no matter what. A beautiful building. Everyone's nice. Well, nice as they can. And again, this is during this insane pandemic. I, I mean, what are you talking about? I couldn't have asked for a more interesting time. It was like a lot of people were scared. Uh, I don't even know how to say this. Uh, yeah, I don't know. It was like weird, and I'm just like, holy shit! If this gets pushed back again, so right. So in my mind, I thought it was. I misunderstood a couple things, and the one doctor, unfortunately, the one doctor meeting was just like the most basic, no, nothing talk that I thought was them going to schedule my stuff. So we're talking, and she's asking the most benign, like almost useless questions. I'm like, when, what? I'm like, well, when are we talking about my surgery? She's like, oh, well, we'll set up a meeting to discuss the meeting. I'm like, whoa. I'm like, are you a comic right now? So you're the doctor that's setting up the doctor's doctor. Like, wow, this is always the meeting for the meeting for the meeting. Holy Christ. So luckily she's hilarious. So we had a good joke because I'm like, yeah, okay, I'm not paying the insurance. So this is we're not going on this one. I got to think of a real question to make this worth something. Like, holy fuck! I thought this was scheduling my brain surgery. You're telling me this is just a meeting in a month, and that meeting is going to schedule in a month and a half. So I just lost like 3 months in my mind. I'm thinking I'm going to call this doctor is setting me up for brain surgery. So yeah, so I didn't handle that part well. If you're like about to have brain surgery, you kind of want to get it over with. I would imagine any surgery, specifically the brain, you just want to get it over with, man, see what happens. So to have brain surgery, I lost my point. Damn. Yeah, so to have brain surgery sped up and I'm sorry, first delayed in my mind. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm like, holy shit, I got to think about this for 3 months now. I was really ready to go. Wow. So that hurt. Turns out, it, blah, 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 blah. It got moved up a month. Whew. So that whole month recovery, this would be it. I wouldn't even be having it yet. It'd be the end of January, like mid February. Right? So basically just December and January, I would have been sitting around waiting for brain surgery. Oh my Lord. So whoever canceled or however it worked, thank God, not the G word, but thank you that it happened. So I got to go in a month early. So now this is now my recovery as opposed to waiting. And the recovery is going well, better than anyone thought. So now I gotta work on my God complex and not try to be a dick about the fact that I did better than they expected. This is where I'm saying this is where it comes into the mission now, right? mission is to help you guys feel better. Because it's some wild ass stuff you hear about beforehand. Whether you have an imagination or not, it's impossible for you not to, for your mind not to go crazy. Yeah. So when someone says brain surgery to you, your brain just immediately starts going, "Whoa!" Like, yeah, that's me. I don't. Did I sign up for that? I don't. Do I want that shit? Like, I don't care about the lungs and all. Like, I'm the brain. I'm important here. So that whole stuff is hilarious. If you can make it hilarious. I mean, I'm a clown. I'm a ridiculous person. So I feel like have a little better position than some, just through the years of people we've met and talked to. Some of us have great attitude. Some of us do not. Some of us are uh, just scared all the time. It seems like, or maybe not scared is the word. Maybe precautious. I don't know what the word is. So yeah. So who knows? Like when I would travel and stuff, I'm sure there's people that loved me and all that was probably like more nervous. You know what I mean? Like, oh well, what if you have a seizure? You're like, well, what the hell? Oh well. I could have a seizure walking down the street going to the store. What's the difference between there and Costa Rica? It's still a seizure. Uh, yeah, so I didn't let it define my life that much. Maybe for the worse, maybe for the better. I mean, again, what are you going to do? Uh, so yeah, so the fact that it's a pandemic, and I went into a hospital, had surgery, and came out feeling good. I kind of feel guilty because I feel good and I don't have COVID and all this stuff while they're overmaxed. All the hospitals are getting filled up, uh, like crazy, like intense. I mean, and Jesus Christ, not the word, the phrase. Like it's insane to think this is the time period that but it's not like all of us are used to it. So no one's used to it. So we're like, all right, cool. This is wild as hell. I'm just gonna stay home. A lot of people are staying home, whether they were forced to or not. So it's the straying from the subject. So the fact that it's a global pandemic is wild. The fact that Philadelphia's got hit really hard very recently is wild. Uh, the fact that I went in to a hospital where people were clearly, I'm going to guess there was some in a hospital. I'm going to guess there were some people infected. I still don't have it. Uh, I'm knocking on 80 pieces of wood right now. I ain't beating the crap out of wood. I don't have it. I don't care about the immunity or vaccine garbage as far as politics and all that stuff. I love how we all act like we know what's going on. We're like, oh yeah, you're like, oh yeah, you lived through one of these before? Oh, that's cool. Oh, I didn't know you lived through a pandemic before. Sweet. Right? And that's just the human cockiness, you know? We love acting like we know shit. It's cool. I get it. We eventually will know stuff, but you gotta learn it first, right? And that's where we're at. 2 years later, we definitely learned a ridiculous amount. Remember the day one? But I remember it was like St. Patrick's Day or something like 2 years ago when it first like really, really, really let everybody know. And that was wild as hell. Not the day itself, but to think that is still going on. You know, we're not getting political here. Though. We're not trying to stray that way. So anything else I can think of? Again, the booklet is thick, but it's not about you personally. This is just lawyers. Uh, I think page 31 is probably the most important, I would think, for everybody. And that is managing your depression. Yeah, right. Yeah, I know. Because all the pills they give you, it's just wild as hell. So if you don't take a pill, you're gonna have seizures. So you have to take something. Like any company, there's billions of them out there, or whatever. There's a lot of freaking drugs for it. And it's like any other drug dealer, like, hey man, what's up, doc? Give him this one. And then the other doctor's like, hey, give him this one. And the other doctor's like, hey, give him this one. The doctors don't give a shit. You know what I'm saying? We're talking in general here, not my personal ones. But generally, they're like, all right, well, here, this has been proven to work. This has been proven to work. This one has been proven to work. And as a graphic designer, you're like, right, that's where the logo comes in. Which logo do you like, buddy? Mm. So the fact that drugs have logos and colors and shit is hilarious. But it's not as funny, like, you know, when you start talking to other epileptics and you hear their stories, like, oh yeah, this one is, you're like, oh, that shit, that made me feel that way too. And then you read about it, you're like, oh wow, everyone has bad shit about that, or everyone has similar results personality wise, you know. So again, the doctor just is like, do you have seizures? No, okay, boom. So they're fine with that. That counts. And then when you talk to other people, you're like, yeah, I don't have any seizures anymore, but I'm a total asshole. I don't have any seizures anymore, but now I'm a crybaby. I don't have total seizures anymore, but now everyone that talks to me looks at me like I'm a child. Well, there's a lot of stuff in that. So yeah, um, but what are you gonna do? You can't just not take your pills. So it's the definition of pill pusher. Uh, yeah, seizure drugs are wild, wild as hell, because they affect your personality no matter what. Guaranteed, regardless of the seizures, guaranteed people you love have noticed changes. I I don't like making guarantees, but I can guarantee there's a change somewhere. You may not notice it. You may not think it's too drastic. It may not overpower you. It may not. Excuse me. I'm sorry about that. It may not overpower you. It may not um, take over your life, but it definitely changes something. And then that's when you start adapting your personality, hopefully, and become a better person. However you do it. I still say to this day, seizures are the best thing that ever happened to me personally. Uh, I know, right? Yikes. Wasn't that big of a dick? Jerk? Ah, I don't know. Ask some people. I know I'm a lot better now, though, as far as appreciating and just love and all that stuff. And again, not drugs. So, yeah. So now the momentum, right? The momentum and the hope. How That's what this is for. How I can help. Uh, I'm not a doctor, because yeah, all you do is listen to doctors say some crazy, not that word, some intense words and some heavy words and long words, and you're just like, yeah, I don't know. I think that was literally 12 syllables for that one word. I don't know what you're talking about. So trust, right? Apparently, I have more trust than I thought in humanity. Uh, so yeah, thanks for anyone that had any questions. I'll do what I can from here on out to make this mission work. Uh, Again, we're adults. When you meet the kids, I'm gonna again. For those that are following, I'm an adult. I didn't have them until I was almost 40 years old, right? So I just keep thinking about kids, like the kids that don't know anything other than that life. My God, I'm not. I don't want to cry, but so I can't think about that too much. But oh wow, I couldn't imagine how just mean kids are already, right? So say you're in second grade, and your first seizure is in second grade in front of your classmates. Imagine, mm, I couldn't imagine that poor child, like the assholes, the people that are in that class that saw that and say that happened in front of your peers in second or third grade, and then you're supposed to just go back to school after that normally. Oh, yeah, good luck with that, right? So that's what we gotta, that's the part I have to help the kids. Uh, because I don't even, I know how mean kids can, God, all that. Woo, yikes. All right, yeah. So hopefully this helps people somewhere. Uh, I would really like to help. Uh, what's the word? Placate. What the hell is that word? And this isn't from the Now, if I was a flim-flam man, I would say, yeah, I used to know physics and I used to be smart, and then I had brain surgery, and now I can't even think of that word. That's not true. I never knew that. So, but it is not hard. I mean, being a flim-flam guy is it's pretty easy. So yeah, thank you all for paying attention. Uh, I don't know if anybody wants me to keep going. I have no idea. It's been 43 minutes. I could go on forever. uh, but we don't want to make us just about being a ridiculous clown. Anything important that I missed? Um, Not that I can think of. Again, it went well, to say the least. Again, now it's just about perception. People that knew I had it, how are they going to, are they still going to treat me like, not that they ever did, but, when I would meet strangers and say, like, again, if it came up and you would meet a stranger and you would say it, you can immediately see their face, like, what? I am getting out of here. Whoa. They don't want to deal with epileptics, obviously, at all. So, yeah. So most people don't bring it up. I'm going to call it an idiot, whatever. I don't know. It just, if it came up naturally, it came up naturally. I didn't go around saying it. So if someone is epileptic, like the, um, like I was saying, the support group I went in, the one story, this poor woman, I'm not going to cry, but if I do not blame me. This woman, young woman, her husband, I think husband, boyfriend, father of the child, he had them, and he's like an entertainer, so he like worked hours at night, and he like had a like a recording studio and stuff. He wasn't doing the right. He wasn't the right thing. I forget exactly what. Like I don't know if he wasn't taking the pills or he didn't want to admit it. So he didn't have that many, but it was enough. Like normal. It started at night. Or I don't know about normal, but a lot of over the years, as I've heard from a lot of people, it's a lot of like at night bedwetting, which happened to me too. I didn't know the girl that was with me at the time. Uh, yeah, it was just a shake or something. I forget. But then there was a point where I did urinate, and she wasn't there. And then that was like the first time I kind of put it together. Either way, I forget. Straying from the subject. Yeah. So that kind of stuff. Uh, the stigmas and all. I mean, we all know like people don't like to mention it. They just hope they don't have another one. You're like right, but if you do have another one, like me, behind a car wheel and total two cars, might have been again, but that's when I first learned of mine. But again, there's people I have met through the years that know they have them and still do that because they have to. You have a seizure, you can't drive for 6 months. Uh, that's pretty important for a lot of people. I'm just an idiot. I just lived in a city. I barely ever drove, even since I was 16. I've always lived in the suburbs. I had rides, and then I had a car for a hot minute, and then I moved to the city. So I'm not missing it that much. But I could tell you many stories where, like, literally, as you befriend someone, or like, oh wow, really, and then they get into like the side, and you start talking like, all right, dude, can I ask you a question? They're like, I have seizures, but I don't, I gotta drive for work and like to live and raise my family. You're like, yeah, no, yeah, that's a lot of people. That is most, I don't know about most, but that is a lot of people. So imagine all of a sudden you medically get that taken away from you, right? So there's not a lot of, and if you don't have them all the time, there's a lot of people that just don't mention it. They're like, fuck, I had a seizure, no one saw it. Oh well, I can't tell anybody. I can't go to the doctors. If you go to the doctor and they diagnose you, then you can't drive. Then you can't provide for your family. I mean, that's important. So I think that is a big hurdle. Uh, Again, I had mine behind a wheel of a car, and you know, and totaled cars. I don't know what if it didn't happen like that. I don't know how. I don't know what would have happened again if it was just say if it just happened with the girl and all and not the car accident. Who the hell knows? So thank God no one died in that car accident, including myself. Here's my favorite story, my favorite seizure story. Uh, so I'm driving, and I don't. This isn't my car; it's my mom's car. Um, she went down the shore, let me her car, but left the my grandfather's parallel handicapped parking sticker, so I had to go return it. So I'm driving from Philadelphia to the suburbs, about 40 minutes, 45. Go drop off the uh, handicap thing, and then I'm driving back to the Philadelphia. And that was my first seizure behind the wheel of a car. So, would you come to in the hospital and you're like, what was my first seizure period that I know of? So, I just come to the hospital to the sound of my Uncle Timmy and Uncle Danny. I was like, what on earth? I'm in a hospital? Like, where's the car? Uh, Dude, so here it is. It's a bucket seats, right? So, God, it was the most fun conversation we ever had. So it was between me, the cop, and the fire truck guy. So basically, the quick version is the cop's like, "Good thing you're wearing your seatbelt." The fire truck guy's like, "Actually, if he was wearing a seatbelt, he'd be dead because bucket seats." So when I did the first flip, I got thrown between the seats, and the roof came down through the car seat. So the car seat roof was, I mean, the car, not a car seat like a child, a regular seat in a car. The top of it was through the roof of this little Hyundai Excel. I mean, tiny ass car. I'm tall. I'm 6'4". Me getting in the thing, my head was like this far from the ceiling. So, dude, me and the fire guy had the best time with this cop. They actually had it. They wrote it down. I lost it, but so picture me in the hospital, right, with this cop and this fire guy, and dude, oh my lord, it was just so funny because they're like, again, I'm like, guys, this is real, and they actually went through it with me. They wrote it down, and it just basically said, I don't wear my seatbelt because I'm only alive because I didn't wear it. And this is before they made all that damn noise where you have to. So I still did it. Click it in the back to shut the damn sound off. That's it, because it's only a lure thing. I mean, it doesn't, as I proved, seatbelts help you for lawyers, and like it's like only good for like a certain number of accidents. It's not like the greatest thing. It's just like a precaution thing. I am an extreme case. I would have been dead. And that conversation with the cop and the fire guy and me talking about it, where they actually wrote it out and signed it, and we got it laminated at the hospital, and I carried it around, and I used it 3 times, where I got pulled over. And he's like, why I'm pulling you over? I'm like, I can only imagine. I don't drive much, so it's probably because I suck. And he's like, oh, blah, blah, blah. He's like, oh, you're not wearing your seatbelt. And then I would smile and be like, actually, I am not wearing a seatbelt. And I'd pull out this card and handed it to him. And just, oh my Lord. This is, again, I'm old. I'm 46. So this is like before the internet stuff, like I can't imagine no way he wouldn't think that was fake, a fake prank now, like a hidden camera somewhere. Because he just handed this cop a card and he looks at it. It says this kid has seizures and he's not wearing a seatbelt again because he's only alive because he wasn't wearing a seatbelt when he flipped the car and the roof went through the seat. Like that's what it said, and signed by the head of police and the head of the fire department of that small neighborhood and all. Dude, it was so fucking awesome. I wish I had it. And I have a lot of mementos, but I don't have that, unfortunately. Yeah. So that was a great time. Now the damn beeps, the if you don't put the seatbelt on, it just makes that damn beeping and all. So I just click it behind my back. I can't wear a seatbelt, man. I'm only alive because I don't. Don't follow me on that though. I'm not responsible. But yeah. I'm running out of stuff to say. So thank you all. What do you want? Hour and 10 minutes? Is that wrong? What time is it? 3:53? Okay, yeah, thank you. Trying to think how we can end this puppy. We can do a song and dance, but every time I play a song, they cut it off, and then you get blocked and all that good stuff. So, all right, yeah. I guess I'll just shut up. Thank you all. What do you think? I hope it helps somebody. And cut. All right. Whew, thank God. Man. That's tough. Whew, no. All right. So this is for everyone. Thank you. But as I stated in the other ones, I don't actually play guitar. So again, thank you all. We'll just run it out for an extra 5 minutes. And it has nothing to do with brain surgery. I don't know how to play guitar. I found this on the street. I mentioned that before. Sorry about that, neighbor. Yeah, so thanks everybody. Take care. Love you all. Let me know if I can help personally. Any questions? Yeah. All right. Again, look at that. Piece of my brain removed, and I got that. That is unbelievable. That's all. I think this is karma, right? Look at that. So there's 13 holes in my head, little microscopic holes and all. And I'm like, well, what? I'm like, well, what is this for then? If they're all over here and I have all this hair, what was the reason for even cutting that? Pretty sure that's karma. Thank you all. Anything I could do to help? I'll try. I mean, I don't want to say personal message me and all that kind of stuff. but hopefully this helps a little bit. Because brain surgery, I mean, those words together is two of the scariest words I could think of, other than I'm pregnant. Yeah, later.